What is this wonderful new place? Oh, it's called New Cairo, where I don't have to cover my body. I can wear sleeves. I can wear a dress. I can drink. What is this magical place? If I would have just Googled, I could have found that it existed. Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love. Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé.
Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown.
90-day Fiancé.
Marrying someone you only met on your phone.
Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love.
It's reality, yeah.
Let's love.
And maybe have an affair with this new yoga teacher I met. I can show you the world.
What an idiot. I just, there's something about her that feels like she was just formed in an egg and she was born right before this trip.
I have a new perspective on her after this episode.
Like, in a good way?
I'm not going to put a good or bad qualifier on it. I'm just going to say a different perspective.
Okay.
I feel like I see her maybe more authentically.
Okay.
And we're going to get to that. Y'all, I almost said Love is Blind because your gold cup is out and I'm staring at it. This is not Love is Blind. Ooh. This is Toe. This is Toe.
This is Toe.
Season 4, episode 10.
This is Toe.
One hand, we say it
Does
together?
not clap.
Kind of like one
But
hand.
one asshole can clap.
Uh-huh. And one hand can jack. Yeah. So that's why Jake and I we don't need someone to clap after we perform in the bedroom.
It's its own type of. You know what? For me, performance is its own reward.
It really is.
Yes.
We just like to give to the people.
Mm-hmm.
Over and over and over.
Big news.
Well, speaking of Love is Blind.
Huge. Let me go to the
I already remember it.
Let me go and like I'm going to be reciting a poem.
If you're watching the Intimate Portrait right now, Poodle's pulling up notes on his phone. We want to tell y'all, Love is Blind again.
Episodes 9 through 11 have now dropped.
Because we got, thanks to our relationship with Netflix, I don't think you've seen the last one. I've seen them all. I have not. I know who says I do and who says I don't.
I want to scratch your eyes out now.
And I'm going to tell you this at the finale. I cried. I screamed. At one point, a couple said their thing, and I jumped up and down and breathed a sigh of relief. Like, it was so up, down, and there was also a moment.
I can't speak.
Where I was gooped and gagged and my mouth was dropped to the floor. It's good, y'all. This is it put the nail in the
gasping.
coffin. This is the best season of Love is Blind.
Yeah.
By far, there's not a dull episode in the whole fucking bunch. Anybody who says, I didn't like season 2, I don't want to do season 4. You're wrong. It's a totally different show. Yeah. It's so good.
Even the people who were poo-pooing Love is Blind, like, oh, I'm tired of it. They kind of started it, and they're like, this is incredible. It is the best season.
I will say, too, if you get, y'all, I like to talk to people. You know, I like talking to
I know.
And if you need a conversation to talk about people with, Love is Blind is the answer.
It is.
I've talked about it with my nephew and my niece, or I did say niece-in-law or whatever, but now she's my niece.
Now she's your
my
future niece-in-law. That was that meme with that woman with all the little figures around her when he said future niece-in-law. I was like, what the fuck is that?
It's but then my neighbors, I was talking to them and I said, what are y'all doing today? They're like, oh, we got to catch up on some TV. And I said, Love is Blind. And they said, yes.
No, it's a sickness. It's a countrywide sickness.
So if you have a coworker, if you're back in your cubicle or your job and you're like, oh, fuck, I don't want to talk to Janelle again this week. Watch Love is Blind and talk to her about that. And then tell Janelle, say, hey, look, Janelle, you might like this podcast I like. And then convert a dick piggy.
Or you could watch it, not talk to anyone at work about it, and just listen to our podcast. Which is what I would prefer.
Poodle's way, my way, whichever way works for you. But
because people are exhausting.
Anyway, the show is great. I will say our podcasts are really great this year.
Yep.
Because we have such great source material. And now Love is Blind has even come out with something different, Poodle.
A live reunion show, live reunion special.
And we are
April
calling,
16th.
Yes, and we're calling our event what, Poodle? Love is live.
Love is live.
Love is live. Love is alive.
Stop.
Fine. But we're calling it Love is Live because we normally do a watch along with our $15 tier on Reality Gaze Plus. But
we just talk about everything. We're going to watch the reunion live with everybody else, and we're going to chat about it on it's going to be kind of like we're
computer.
watching and we'll be chatting.
Yeah, on the YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you said chat like we were going to psychically send it or something. I didn't want them to get their hopes up. You never know.
We'll be in the AOL chat room.
Yeah, because some sissies think that we're a much bigger deal than we are and that we have much more advanced tech than we have.
We do not.
It's just gerbils and a prayer, y'all. So I'll be driving
Those
down.
gerbils are on strike.
That's true. I'll be driving down to Orange County because Poodles.
I'm rehearsing a show down there.
And
because
in the middle of all of this.
For some reason, when I planned everything to do this show in April, there was 1 week that was going to be hard, and I said, it'll never be that. Guess what?
We
it's
thought
the
Love
week
is
that
Blind.
I'm in Orange County.
We thought Love is Blind would be during
Yep.
February. We were wrong. And so as our sissy Christina said, she retweeted, what did she say? She said, my country for a press release.
Oh, I said
And
that,
when
yeah.
You said that, yeah, she quoted you. She laughed
That's
at it.
all, y'all. We just like a month out. I don't know why we don't do it anymore.
I'm just used to getting raw dog now. I'm just taking it. So April 16th at 5
What
p.m.
else is new?
We're going to log on a little bit before. I'm going to send the link to all of our Reality Gaze Plus listeners an hour before. That's for Supercast and for Patreon.
5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern.
That's how you get it, y'all. This isn't a moment like you sign up for one time and it's you join the Patreon or the Supercast, and then you will be sent a YouTube link, and you can click on that and chat away.
Yeah,
we're very excited.
Also, speaking of YouTube. We're on YouTube.
We are on YouTube.
We're YouTube stars.
So you're
really.
not stars. No, we're not young enough for that.
No, we're not.
No, we don't look like Tyler. What's his name? He's so handsome.
Okay, first of all, he is still there, but
Henry. No, that's the psychic.
He is so last decade.
What? He's
for
a
being
big YouTube star.
Yeah, but I'm saying there are people there who are younger and even more popular.
What's his name? Tyler Perry
Oakley.
Davis. Oakley. Like the sunglasses. Now I'll remember. He used to be really skinny and chubby. Now he's all buff. I need to work out
I don't think he was
more.
ever chubby.
He was.
Really?
Yes, he was chubby like me. And now he's
maybe not chubby like you.
And now he's doing what we should have done when we got younger. Get abs and a good butt so we could get a wealthy businessman to finance our 30s.
Yeah, but
we should have done it.
To what end? Just so you can be like all the other muscle gays?
No, so you can retire in your 40s. You give away your 30s when you're a little tween. You know your 30s are dedicated to this old man giving you money.
Oh,
and
I
then,
see.
Then you have your 40s, 50s, and gay men. We're Peter Pan, so you live forever young.
So you're saying he's doing that exclusively to get a daddy?
I think so. Well, I don't think he needs the money.
I was going to say, I think he's
I'm
okay.
saying we should have done that.
Oh. I can get him. I can get him looking like this.
No.
They could be genuinely younger, I think, than my 80-year-olds.
I do not want you going. When you have to go to dinner with your daddy and his grandchildren, which is where you're at.
Well, honestly, it does make it easier because they really mind. All you have to do is step on the oxygen pipe. Boy, then someone uses the right fork at dinner.
Right fork. Y'all, a shout out to I think the queen of social media, Caitlin.
Oh, yes.
She does our social media. She also does it for Pink Shade as well, but and other podcasts, I think. But Caitlin,
we've been the toast of the internet.
We have. Caitlin basically, she sent us one of those Barbie memes, and she said, I'm an old person. Like, I saw one of Linda Carter, and I went, Wonder Woman's going to be in the Barbie movie?
Wow.
I didn't get it that you make your own Barbie meme. Well, Caitlin...
Even I got that.
Caitlin, well, producer Christina helped as well, but Caitlin immediately, in a flurry of work, there was this, people thought there was someone had done a lot of meth somewhere in Toronto. It wasn't. It was just Caitlin, and I'm so proud of the memes that she put out on our Instagram.
I was working on music, and my phone sounded like it was having a seizure.
Blah, blah.
And because of Slack, and I said, I have to go put my phone in the other room. But when I finished feverishly working on something, I took a break. I'm like, these are great.
She did great.
Really good.
So
really
funny.
funny.
Be sure to check that and follow us on Instagram.
The
TikTok.
Malibu Barbie one especially with talking about Nicole.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Also, y'all, if there's not enough to do, Love in Paradise Season 3, April 17th. That's going to be on our free feed. Mm-hmm. Lydia, Pedro's mother
Trailers
is there.
dropped.
Yeah, the trailer's dropped.
I still haven't watched it.
I have.
Was it good?
It's messy. Yeah, it's good. Below Deck Sailing Yacht, April 10th.
Yep.
Coming up.
Captain Glenn.
Y'all are Bi-Curious, which is at our $5 Patreon or Supercast level. That is, the Bi-Curious it's official now. Return to Amish has won it.
Oh, okay.
This season. So we'll be talking about Rumspringers, English girls, maybe drunken Dutch cursing.
Great.
And I guarantee you're going to find most of the older teenage boys hot. Because there's something about them that
We're
is
in
so
a weird area.
unrefined.
I don't like this.
They're all 18.
I'm
maybe.
uncomfortable. I did feel.
Oh, when that kind of when they have those straps on their backs, where it's like kind of like, you know how they have the suspenders in their cross.
This is
and they have the Amish hats. It's hot.
This feels grosser than the email I got from Queerty this morning talking about Christopher Maloney's 19-year-old son.
What?
Talking about how there's like sons just like daddy, and I went, no.
We need to do better.
He's 19, but I went, no, we can't do this.
Also, y'all, on the cringe tier at the $8 level, Seeking Brother Husband is turning out to be cringe in a different way than I thought.
I'm enjoying it.
It's fun. You, Me, and My Ex is coming up in a week or so, and of course, Classless, our $5. 90 Day Fiancé.
We didn't
recaps.
put out a Classless last week because we had so much Love Is Blind
Yeah.
to do. So we just want to let you know we didn't forget. We just paused that for a week.
Yeah.
Our charity, y'all, drag
God,
queens.
these announcements. There's so much.
You know, I don't mind.
No, I'm talking about there's just so much. That's the thing, y'all. We're actually going through this pretty quickly. We have so much coming up. It's very exciting.
It is very exciting. I think it's that time of year too. People are starting to get back from spring break and all that. By the way, happy Easter.
Oh, that's right.
It's Easter for y'all today.
It's Easter.
Yes.
Here comes Peter Cottontail,
hopping down the bunny trail. Hippity hoppity, Easter is so gay.
Wait, it's gone.
It's gone. Well, actually, today is Sunday.
True.
So you're hearing it on. So you've already had a fight with your family, ruined the ham, and your husband got drunk with his hands in his pants.
But it's so interesting because my family and my mother starts regretting the holiday being over on the holiday. She's like, well, Easter's come and gone.
Yeah.
It's already over. It was fun. Guess we'll wait till next year.
She doesn't do well with closing. I bet, does she ever watch series of shows and does she get really sad when the series ends?
Yeah. A little bit of that. It's
like what's she going to do?
I just don't want it to end, Jay Bird.
I hope she's not watching Grey's Anatomy. What's she going to do one day?
She doesn't watch that shit.
Of course, now they redid it all. They killed off everybody, including my friend Lin Chen. They just killed her off.
I can't believe that show's still on.
Well, they're killing everybody off because they're going to do even more seasons.
Really?
Yes. It's time to end. But we shouldn't say that. We're going to
You know
have
what?
a lot of grace.
I think I'm just happy it keeps people having jobs.
You know what?
That's
true.
my opinion. I don't.
Well,
agree
they
with
fired
you,
my friend.
but other people have jobs.
I love Lin Chin.
I'm not watching it though. Don't come at me. In the early days with Izzy and TR9, I was glued to that television. I was torrenting those episodes.
Oh, and the McSteamy and McDreamy.
Oh, McSteamy and McDreamy.
McFeamy wasn't their third one.
McFemi. No.
McFemi.
That'd be my character. Here comes Nurse McFemi, y'all. Hi, boys. Nurse McFemi.
It's time for some Gays Anatomy. Why hasn't someone made a
He
show
got
called...
that stuck in where?
They need to do a show called Gays Anatomy that's just in like one of those butt clinics where they do all the gay stuff.
Yeah, I think there was like a big thing where we had like remember on Nurse Jackie there was like a kind of a feminine, sassy gay nurse.
I remember that show.
And
I didn't watch it. He was hot.
I think he said some crazy shit and got fired.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But anyway, like now they're like butchy nurses, and I'm thinking, bring me back a sissy nurse. Bring me a like full on sissy girl.
There's not a lot of
to Grey's Anatomy. Doctor.
I don't think there's a lot of gays on television like us. I'll be honest.
Clear.
Don't see it. Clear.
Queer. Just like, you see what I did there?
See what I did there?
Oh, they're dead. Boop. Sorry,
So
doctor.
speaking
Time of death.
Oh God, I'm trying. Speaking of gay things, I'm
punchy as
If you're
fuck.
watching the Intimate Portrait, Poodle is crazy as shit. You know what? You need
Shithouse rat.
You need to eat some of this Canadian candy that Caitlin got us.
You don't want me crazier.
This one's great. Have you
It's
had
got
it?
coffee in it.
It just has it's called a coffee crisp. Y'all, this is my favorite.
I'm gonna use it for the second show.
Okay. So on May 7th, we're not going to do a watch along per se. We're going to join the moment that is already happening. So I don't think we're going to be live chatting about it.
No.
But we will going to be talking about it on Discord.
We're gonna watch it together. We'll talk about our Discord.
In Discord. But on May 7th, they're going to... RuPaul's Drag Race, tons of queens from Drag Race, along with the ACLU, are doing...
The Drag
hosting
Defense Fund.
Money to raise for the Drag Defense Fund. Because y'all know what's happening to drag and to...
and queer and trans people
and trans
in
people
general.
like Florida don't say gay. By the way, I know they're evil, but I do love Disney this week. So
I don't know if they're evil.
A lot of people don't like Disney with the anti-Semitism stuff of Walt Disney before and all that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I love Disney.
I'm just saying I don't love the habit of it's this culture today of everyone saying so and so's evil.
I agree. I think
so.
As a gay person, I talk
shit about Disney all the time.
But I do have a fondness because Disney back in the day in the 90s was one of the only companies giving same-sex rights. So I do remember that.
But I'm saying that's why I don't want to encourage.
I know. I guess
evil.
I was just trying to say.
I know you're being hyperbolic.
Some people get triggered by it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was happy with them this
There's
week.
no time for me to trigger everyone, especially for a company like Disney.
Because as we've learned, don't fuck with Disney because they're going to win. They're going to win. So, but
every company has problems.
But so yes, drag is under attack with trans people as well. So we're raising money in the Sissy Squad. You can give to that, and then also you can give yourself just online, or you can just buy a ticket to the moment that's going to be on May 7th and watch along with us in Discord. And we're going to just see a bunch of drag queens.
Yay!
What
else could you ask?
It's just
for?
like what you're watching now on the Intimate Portrait. Just a couple of drag queens.
Clear. I mean queer.
I think that's it. Are we finally done?
Yes.
Y'all get ready. On part 2, not this episode, but on part 2, we're going to have a very special Tales from Social Media.
Social media.
Get ready.
We also have a special guest, I believe.
I was not aware of this.
There was.
I didn't see a raven.
A part. Something. No, not that guest. She's now my cousin Olga was actually a mayor in a town. I don't know if you saw it on her. It was literally spelled Olga Podolskaya. She's a mayor in some town. I'm like, I hope someone has access to the budget and not her, because she don't take all that money.
She running all that town wrong. All the way wrong. Because she already done had hers.
She already done had hers, and she's going to take yours too.
She's going to take yours too.
That's her goal. So no, we have someone. Like, it was like a little set of jewelry was brought in. So may have something to do with it. We'll see. We'll see who shows up.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. One hand does not clap.
Nicole and Mahmoud.
Y'all, that was 19 minutes. But if you come at me and say the announcements are too long,
We have too much going on.
there was a lot going on. We're doing the best we can. We got. How do we tell people? What are we going to do? Skyride over your house? What we're doing?
We're punchy too from Love Is Blind. Y'all, she's got her cabbie hat on, and that means she's upset, which is her the whole season.
Yeah. Y'all, they're starting to hate one another.
Oh,
Like even
starting?
Well, but even more, even when she said, she's like, it's hot in here, but the AC helps, and Mahmoud's like, you turn it on 24 hours a day.
Well, it has when you run it 24 hours a day. He's being shitty.
He's being shitty.
Being super shitty. And the worst thing is for her, it was apparent that she has a deep resentment of him really as soon as she showed up.
Yeah.
And so that hasn't changed. But what she vacillates between is this idea of, but I love him. I love him so much. He just loves me more than anybody else. And I want to say this. That's not a reason to stay with someone.
No.
The fact that and I want everyone to hear that. That's not a reason to stay with someone.
I would want to ask her, how does he show you he loves you if you discount his words?
Yeah.
That's a good thing with someone who's controlling, because look at their actions and what they do, how they show up in your life, not what they say.
And
I bet you there wouldn't be a lot.
No. And then he says something shitty and she just goes, why'd you say that? And he just goes, okay, my love.
Yeah.
It's the Egyptian form of te amo.
And then he gaslights her.
Yep.
Later. And
so, like, yo,
I don't have sympathy for either of them.
She's been there 4 months. We've only been watching the show for 10 episodes, but it feels like 4 years for me.
I still enjoy watching it. But
I don't.
We had a fast forward, I guess, of a month and a half.
Yeah.
So they've been getting along, I guess, for like a month and a half.
She says, no major fights. But if this is what life is like, this passive-aggressive daily shit, that seems miserable.
And she says she just sits in the room 18 hours a day because she doesn't know anyone when she doesn't have anywhere to go.
So, I understand that. However,
I also think
what is keeping her there?
I think she's a big introvert. I think there's that. I think there's a lot of things. I think actually she's like socially uncomfortable. It's hard for her to just go out and meet people because this woman is just anxiety on two legs all the time.
I agree. I'm going to say this too, though. I think part of her enjoys this behavior and enjoys the suffering.
Maybe in a subconscious way. She would tell you that she's not doing that.
Right.
But yeah.
I think part of her needs this constant fight. Part of her, because it's normal. And the drama of it makes her feel victimized, and that feels normal.
I agree with that. I also think she has a blind, or not a blind, but the naivete that she carries around. I really don't think she does a lot of things maliciously to him. I don't know if she watched too many Disney movies or whatever. I think if part of her thinks that just like someone's going to wave a wand and magically this is going to change if she just shows him. If she just shows him the light, he'll go, oh, I see. Who cares about the historical context of my religion and my cultural beliefs? You're right.
I think she's less naive than that. Here's why I think that. I've said before, and I will go on record about this, that I think she did the show to show the world not just what she is dealing with, but what women are doing, what women are dealing with in this family of this part of Islam.
I think I backtrack a little bit from that. I don't think she thinks. I think you're giving her too much. I don't think she thinks about what she can do in the world. I think she thinks more insular about herself.
I don't think it's. think it's more about to defend herself. I don't think what she's trying to change the world. I'm trying to say what she's talking about with how it makes her feel.
I think
and
the way
her
you say it,
ideas
though,
about
do you
women.
feel like she wants to say that, like the way you talk about it, as if you think she's saying, "There, look at him, he's a piece of shit." I don't think that.
No, I
think she
what I'm
does
trying,
it to like get him to change. I think she thinks he's going to change.
I think that's the second part of it, and I could kind of buy that. But what I think she wants to do is say, "See how outdated these rules are? See, we don't have to do this. People shouldn't have to do this."
In the effort, but in doing that, because why would she do that? Is she doing it just to show him he's wrong?
I think yes, and I think the resentment of it.
But I think the end goal of that is to show, yes, he's wrong, but to get him to, I think a part of her feel that it's like this. I'm agreeing with you, and I think it's not just to like show his ass to the world. I think I actually am trying to say she's got an even more less realistic, even more delusional. That to me actually is like would be normal. But she actually, a part of her really thinks this guy is going to say, it's fine for you to wear a skirt and short sleeve shirts.
Here's where
she believes that.
Here's where I disagree, though.
Bonkers.
Every time when she says something about what he says what she should wear, she turns it around on him and says, "Well, why aren't you wearing that?" Even though she knows she wants the camera time of it. Mm-hmm. She wants the camera time, so it's almost like. That's why I'm saying I think she's less naive than she lets on. Mm-hmm. And I think she is indicting him in the world. Mm-hmm. And getting him on record of saying it. Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons why she magically made this friend. And within one meeting, they're going to dinner.
Yeah.
And because she wanted this on record. And she plays it.
I bet she even thought, maybe he'll watch this and then he'll see the ways.
I can understand that. And that is utterly delusional.
I'm trying to I think I'm actually saying something that's even scarier of her delusion. I think her delusion is that deep.
I just can't stand her.
Because you sound like a person scorned who, I agree with you, who's carrying a chip on her shoulder. Yes. I kind of would be, yeah, you want to get in, like Dixie Chicks, or I'm sorry, the Chicks. Earl had to die like that, but oh man, she's just. I think she's got a few bananas loose from the bunch.
Yeah. So we mentioned that she doesn't have any friends. They're going to look at apartments. He basically says, "I don't want to move out." So it is interesting that. She is desperately trying to. I think this is one last. I do agree with you. I think she is trying to rehabilitate him. She really wants to stick it to him, though. Part of her.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you.
No, I'm saying it can be the same thing.
I think they're both.
She really wants to stick it to him on television.
Yeah, though. I think I think that's probably 100% why she did the show.
And I don't know if we've ever had someone on 90 Day Fiancé who's done that.
Oh. It maybe didn't start out that way, but probably Tiffany and Ronald's. That's why she agreed to do this season.
Oh yeah. She went back. She did go back to South Africa
just
to fuck him.
just to show him.
Oh, that relationship. That relationship is so different than this one, though.
If Ronald wasn't so gross, I did have an idea when we were thinking of the Barbie and Ken memes, because there's Ken ones too. I wanted to put a Ronald one and put human trafficking.
Human trafficking,
my boy Ken.
Yikes.
But I hate him.
Yeah, he's awful.
Also, I did suggest doing Raw Dog Barbie, and Caitlin said no.
Well, she did say the N-word on television. They
Baby
never
girl
aired it.
Lisa. Oh, they never. Yeah.
So y'all, she's doing her meditation class, and this, like, she's saying, Nuran, the one who's leading this, is saying, "I'm enough as I am." Y'all, Nicole is crying throughout this.
I love that there's a cat just walking around yoga, just laying on people, and they're petting the cat. It's Yoga Cat. It was so cute.
A lot of places have stray cats that are just walking around.
This is I'm naming this one Yoga Cat.
Great. So y'all, she kind of, in a really forced way, Nuran's like, I have not seen you here before. And I do think this was slightly producer initiated.
Because I bet you there was like a month of them of her sitting. There's this they had to have done it because she does not have the extrovert in her at all to go and seek out.
Yeah, I totally agree.
We clearly know she doesn't like to or doesn't know what Google is because she didn't do it about just Egyptian life in Cairo.
So she's basically there. She's like, where do you live? And she says this place. And she's like, oh, that's quite a conservative area. And she's like, but have you been to New Cairo? And she's like, what is this crazy place you speak of where it's like prohibition is off? Jazz reigns in the streets.
It's like
flappers.
Alice through the looking glass. It's like she didn't know.
Bathtub gin.
I almost want to look at a map. How far is New Cairo from Cairo? It's probably literally just like 4 blocks.
The fact that she's never heard of it, this is what I call fraudacity. I think you'd have to be so fucking sheltered if she'd never been to this part of the city or never been. And maybe,
I want to agree with you. She's so.
But remember, she's spent time away from him when she first came to Egypt.
That's true.
So she must have seen that.
She must have been there.
That's why.
Because probably
I'm calling
New Cairo
bullshit.
is where it's like more.
Yes.
More the
where the tourists
trendy,
go.
Yeah.
That's why I'm calling bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I think this whole thing is set up to, especially when they meet later on, is to make him look foolish.
Well, it's not going to work.
And I will say, that's, yeah. I do I agree with what he says? Do I agree with his rules? I do not. I don't know if you do that to someone you love. I don't know if you do that and force someone. But that's what she doesn't understand. Just period. She feels like he is doing things oppressive to her when he actually is exalting her in the eyes of trying to exalt her in the eyes of God. She does not see that, nor will she ever see that. Right. But I'm saying she knows what's going to happen. She knows Nuran enough that she's going to tell him all the things he's doing wrong.
Yeah.
And she knows he's not going to respond well.
And actually, I think he responded really well.
He responded better than I thought he would.
Woo.
Anyway, y'all, she
tap dancing.
She basically says, Nuran says, you can have the same life as an American in Egypt. And I didn't know this.
She's like, what? What?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you live in Los Angeles.
Right. And she goes, and you can still be a Muslim. And she basically, and Nuran says, these rules, my parents, I was brought up with these. And my parents said, well, you're an adult now. Do whatever you want if you want to keep it. And she's like, so I decided I did not want to do that anymore. And then she said, I had a man who tried to impose the same thing. And she's like, nope, bye. This woman's amazing. I love her.
I love her too. I mean, she definitely comes in guns blazing during this lunch. And I was a little like...
And this is the other thing. What do you think about Nicole's phrase, somebody gets it?
I think that she feels like just that somebody's validating her opinion because maybe she does, but the way they're presenting the show, and I kind of can believe it, I don't think she knows anyone else in Cairo except for Mahmoud and his family. And that culture they're all like, they don't get it. They just don't get it.
Right. And what is it?
But I think that's where that delusion comes. She's like, oh, she gets it. Again, like Mahmoud just hasn't gotten it yet. I think a part of her thinks he just hasn't gotten it.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
But what is it, I'm asking you? What do you think?
The enlightenment of equality of women.
Exactly. And it's not that they don't get it, they shun it. And that's what I can't.
And I think they don't get it. They don't understand it.
Right.
They don't believe in it. They don't practice it. It feels foreign to them. You're right. They fear it.
Yeah. So I think any normal person would just go, this is unwinnable.
I'm telling you, some bananas are gone from the bunch.
Yeah. Oof.
Gone from the bunch.
So y'all,
There's something about me that hates myself, that I love watching Nicole try and try in her delusional way to undo just 1,000 years of culture in one person.
Centuries, yeah.
I don't know why. I watch these segments with popcorn.
It's frustrating to me because I think, God, you could actually be starting a relationship with someone where there was something to work towards instead of this, where it's a dead end.
It'd be boring TV. They would never be on 98 Fiancé.
Y'all, they are going. Did this feel like when she's like, yeah, I want to like, I can't wait to meet you. Maybe we can talk to like. It felt like, Dan, I won't be ignored. It really felt like Fatal Attraction. All of a sudden, she's gonna like looking like Neuron and wearing a black
I need
wig.
to see that movie.
Oh, come on.
I've never. What? It was scary. I didn't want to see it at the time.
We need to come up with the touchstones that you need. They're coming out with a remake with Joshua Jackson and Amanda Peet. And Lizzie Kaplan is playing the Glenn Close role.
Nah, I'll watch the original.
You should watch both because all three are great actors.
I thought one of our friends is not an Amanda Peet fan.
Oh, someone isn't, yeah. I think it's
Is it
Susan.
Allie? Or Susan? I think they don't, yeah.
I enjoy her.
I don't know much about her.
So y'all, they are going...
Who's the guy? Josh Brolin? Joshua Jackson?
Joshua Jackson. Pacey.
Pacey.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you're going to watch it.
I love him.
I know, but you love Pacey.
No, and I love Lizzie Kaplan.
Who's she?
You don't know who that is. I'm not going to explain it.
Is she in...
No, I'm not going to explain it.
Is she in that chess thing on Netflix? No, that's
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Mm-hmm. Lizzie Kaplan.
She was on Party Down. She was Mean Girls. She was Janice in Mean Girls.
I thought that was the girl on Party of Five.
That's Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh, Lizzie. Oh, you just should have said the girl with the big Disney eyes.
That's a lot of people.
She's 40? Wow, she looks good. Good for her.
We need to move on.
All right.
I'm trying not to rip your nose off and throw it on the floor and stomp on it.
Well, maybe I'll watch Fatal Attraction on a plane. That'd be great.
So, y'all, we're going to dinner, and he says there's these carts on the overpass that have, like, hummus. Not the hummus that we think of. I love learning that how certain things we call, like certain countries will call something, and you go somewhere else, and it's completely different.
Yeah.
It's
funny, Jake went up to 2 Men in Paris and said he would like to have an Eiffel Tower, and they actually took him to the Eiffel Tower.
Very different than I was expecting. And this is basically like whole chickpeas in a lemon broth, which sounds good.
That sounds very good.
And it's like, she says, I want you to meet Nuran. She's my new best friend, and I want to be with her forever and ever and ever. I've met her once. And he's like, sure. And she's like, does this person have issues with, I think it's time.
Oh, were we going to do
for
this?
another episode
Okay.
of, I almost said Love is Blind Theater.
It's because the goblet's out there. You got to move the goblet.
Of reality gaze
It's
theater.
distracting you. There you go.
Thank you. That was started way
That
too
was
high.
frenetic.
That's me right now.
That was not great.
I've got way too many thoughts in my head.
That was stressful. Hold on. I have to get to my notes. Okay. All right.
You weren't there?
Well, no, I was stuck on Yoga Cat.
Oh.
Okay. I'm ready.
I'll be playing the role of Mahmoud, and you'll be playing Nicole.
I just want to say, Nicole says, quote, before this dinner. I'm taking him to meet...
This is before the dinner.
Oh, you want to do before the dinner?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And action.
So tell me who you want to meet. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Tell me who you want to meet. I want you to meet Nuran. She's my friend.
Who? Who is this
Nuran,
person?
she's my friend.
Where did you meet her?
I met her at yoga.
Yoga? Like
Yoga in the park.
where you were? Yoga?
Yes, remember I kept talking about the yoga cat?
Yes, yoga.
Yoga.
Was this men? Were men here?
I just saw cats. That's it. But I'd like you to meet her. I think it'll be good.
Okay.
Right? Don't you want me?
What does she think about men?
Haven't asked her. I don't even know.
Oh, look in your eyes makes me worry.
No. I'm sure we won't talk about that at all.
Did she say something about Egyptian men?
No. She did stand-up comedy before she did yoga, she told me. She's very funny.
Oh, yes. There's a lot of those here.
Yes.
Well,
at the Cairo Laugh Factory. She was there for like 3 weeks. Heard she killed. Anyway, let's go to...
You look happy. You look happy, so I'm not going to ruin it.
Okay.
I mean, most likely, I don't want you to ever see her again. Hot, I'm playfully hitting you.
That's not triggering to audiences at all. At all.
It'll be so much
I love
fun
you.
to never see her again. I love you.
I love you so much.
I love you, honey bunny.
Love you so much. Love you so much.
Let's go home and not talk to each other.
Okay, love you.
And
scene.
This was chilling.
That was chilling.
I found it to be the most disturbing scene, mostly for him saying, "Sounds like someone you should never see again."
That is the way he says things.
I know. It's disturbing.
There's something in her brain. Again, there's something in her brain that doesn't process his inflection versus his words.
And when she responds to it with laughter too.
She's like, it's y'all. Someone could write a fucking dissertation on this.
I agree. And basically, Mahmoud says, well, she's going to make this really difficult for me. Y'all, he already knows what this is. He's going to act like he doesn't know this woman. Or he's like, he already kind of has an idea who this woman is going in.
Yeah.
So he is nervous. He is aware. He is also aware that his family is more conservative than a lot of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows that another woman telling Nicole something that she already has ideas about is going to threaten his status in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
He literally thinks he's going to meet Voldemort at this point. That's the equivalent.
Truly, the only thing this couple has in common is that the sex is good. I think that's it.
Maybe for him.
I don't think
she thinks it is.
Probably not. She maybe feels like that's when he loves her.
Yeah.
Because when she talks about, like, he loves me so much more than I went, how? And that's the only thing I don't mean to be graphic, but it's us.
What did you say when he says things like, when she says, I don't know if you're going to like her or not. We'll see.
But she's not telling him the story at all. And then when she said, I think she can talk to him and convince him. And I went, because she's Egyptian. And I went,
yeah,
you are just, that's when I told you I saw her and more authentically. I saw the other layer of delusion of just, to me, how deluded.
No, I get it.
Is.
I just think there's more. It's a more. She knows what she wants, and it's much more focused.
But the intelligence is not there, girl. You should know.
So y'all, they're going to meet her, Nuran, and he keeps saying, "I love you so much, honey bunny."
I love you too. So they're walking to go meet her, and so she Now Nicole says she says he always wants to vet my friends so that way he wants to meet them to know if I can be around them or not.
This is interesting. We know she has no friends in Egypt. Did he try to do that in America?
I don't know.
I heard her say that and I kind of went,
We haven't seen you with anyone else.
Yeah.
So y'all, and Nuran and Mahmoud says immediately, he says in the moment, he's like, oh, here's her friend. And
she's wearing a short dress, but she's not my wife.
Short dress and showing her, I don't care.
Well,
and you can tell he cares.
Well, he cares, but in Islam, they say, don't judge other people. And what he's trying to do, he is already trying to set up his argument to say, it's fine what she does. I just don't like it for my wife.
He's trying to set that up.
Yeah.
Because maybe his older brother isn't, but Mahmoud is actually, I would say, a very judgmental person.
He is.
And he never owns it.
The older brother, to me, is, in a way, it is a little bit low-key more threatening.
Oh, yeah, because he's way charming at
yeah.
it. He knows how to keep that at bay.
Yeah.
Because he knows you're not going to get women to submit if you act the way Mahmoud is acting.
Totally. So, y'all, he's basically there.
You know what? We're going to take, I'm looking at time.
Oh, yeah,
before we
you're
get
right.
into this. We're going to take a commercial and we'll be right back. All right. We're back.
We're back.
We're back in Baraboo. No, I'm just kidding. We're not Baraboo. Oh, my gosh. Baraboo.
Do it proper.
Do it proper,
That's
Barbie.
on Classless, y'all. Ooh. I don't know of a time where I felt more uncomfortable watching a confrontation than Lita and Tasha, Eric's daughter.
That was good. That was good.
No, it was horrible.
I mean, yeah, it was sad.
You're sick.
What? These people agreed on to be on television. It takes me a lot to feel sorry for people on reality shows.
But Tasha had to sign up for.
No,
she
I
was
do feel
forced
sorry for
to
her.
do it.
Yeah, she's evil. Tasha's fine though. She went to her room, called her friend, then went out and smoked pot in the parking lot of a video store. She's fine, and listened to some Annie DeFranco, and she was fine.
No, she would be more Tegan and Sarah.
Didn't you see them in concert like 3 times?
No, that was someone else. I did see Tegan and Sarah once though. Then they
No, I'm thinking of the guy who's from Chicago, the gay guy.
Sufjan Stevens. Oh, I've seen Sufjan Stevens a lot. He's not gay. He says he's not. He doesn't say anything. He says his sexuality is not.
I shouldn't have brought him up because
defined.
he went through a period, and that's when we were roommates, and all I heard about was Sufjan Stevens for like fucking 6 months.
Y'all, Sufjan makes my world go round.
Yeah.
He's the only person who I joined their fan club. And I get updates. His record label's called Asthmatic Kitty.
Oh, that's cute.
Someone's like, I have an asthmatic kitty.
Carl's wife probably
Let's get back to the battle royale here
too.
with Nuran in one corner and Mahmoud in the other. Y'all, this is literally a straight up religious argument.
It was kind of triggering me because it reminded me of like people talking about gay stuff, like with like Protestant people.
This is
religious.
This is a very probably people have this discussion. I'm sure maybe someone, I think it was good to have this on television because there are a lot of people in America who just go, well, all Muslims are like who you would see on some type of like, you would say, oh, all Muslims are terrorists or something like that. And it was good to see someone who says, this is Islam for me. And show me that in your book. It was a good religious discussion.
It's good for people to be able to have conversations just in their own town about this.
Yeah.
But she comes in hot.
She does.
Because she's like, he said, so nice to meet you. She said, it's my pleasure. And she said, but I have friends that are foreign, and they've never told me that their husband has to meet me. That's an odd thing.
Yeah,
so she does do a little bit.
No, it's confrontational at the beginning.
I call a little bit of bullshit on her where she acts kind of like, what is like caveman lawyer?
Yeah.
What is it?
Now,
I'm just a cave. No.
This person really wanted to be on TV because this is definitely something she believes in, and she wanted to talk about it. Yes.
Yeah.
And they're talking about. She already says within 5 to 10 meetings, maybe this is out of time. She's like, he's a typical Egyptian man.
Yeah.
And y'all, this is something she said earlier. Most Egyptian men are very loving, but they want to control you.
Yeah, and Mahmoud says to her, he says, well, you know what Egyptian men think about things. And she says, but she's an adult. She can judge people for herself. Don't you trust her? And
yeah, there's no way to win that argument.
and Mahmoud's like, he's like, she knows I trust her.
But
Nicole is literally like at a tennis match at the U.S. Open just.
Well, it's interesting. if you watch, she rarely looks at her. She looks at Mahmoud the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's what's telling for me. She is watching him spin and just like trying to come up with it.
And Nuran says, she's like, basically, she said to the camera, she's like, he's very stereotypical. He only knows the people around him. He feels safe in that zone. He doesn't want to stray from that because there are threats outside of that.
And they're basically, she says, what? She's like, are you telling me? Then she's kind of forcing him to weigh in on her clothing because she wants to hear what he's going to say. She's like, isn't this covered up? What she's wearing? And he's like, no, well, you in the Quran it says this. She's like, can you show me the verse? And it just says you have to be modest. And again, I don't know if for two people who are coming from completely different perspectives, if it's really helpful for either of them. It's helpful for an audience that we see that if we don't know already that much about Islam, that there are two different perspectives. But I wonder how helpful it is in that moment with Mahmoud and Nuran.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to, especially in this day and age, to actually be someone, and I don't know, psychologist or anthropologist that studies how people have an about face of a change of values or their mind, because it does happen to some people. I'm not going to say it's happening to Mahmoud.
It's usually trauma. It's religious conversions that happen quickly, or dropping religion altogether happens through trauma.
Well, I'm talking about two separate things, though. Like, I'm talking about something that makes sense, but like, but just as a country that we're supposed to be a country that debates things, and that doesn't really happen in our country anymore. I mean, it's much more divided. Just this idea of when we talk about things, like, because you feel like neither party is going to see the other party because they both walk in with this idea.
It's so divided.
Well, this and the intention of prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Come up with something to make, because I know I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
And I know because it's like, y'all, I learned to walk away when somebody at a church function or something would say to me, like, well, when you talk about the Bible and Jesus says about men sleeping with men, I learned that they're working from a different set of rules than what I work from, and we're not going to agree with these different set of rules.
Yeah, it is when there is a culture based around rules based on either salvation and religion, your highest ideals. Two people are rarely going to compromise.
Yeah.
I totally agree. The end, they get in a conversation about boobs.
Well, they're talking about her yoga class too, and she's like, "Well, there's men that go to my yoga class," and Mahmoud says, "Well, then I don't want her to do that because she's going to be stretching, and then the men are going to see her stretch, and they're going to desire her."
Right?
And she says, "Well, why can't? Don't you think?" So you're blaming the women for the wrong. Those men are being lustful. You're blaming the woman for the men being lustful. And he's like, no, men are just going to look. And then he goes on this, I don't know how we got to this, but basically Mahmoud feels like men's legs are not attractive.
Yes. But it was such a big thing where he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, of course. And she's like, some women find legs. And he was like,
it made me laugh, but it also shows you how, like, this is unwinnable. Yeah. Because he literally can't fathom a woman being attracted to a man.
He'd have to learn, well, especially physically. There's something physically about their bodies. He would have to develop a whole other vocabulary. And I don't know if he's
Is it
capable.
complete hogwash and just totally not true? Yes. But that's what he believes.
I'm fairly certain that men's bodies are attractive to some people. I don't know who they are, but
I have many men and women attracted to my legs. People catcall at you on our live shows when you wear heels.
That's true. That's fair. I don't know if we're the best example of this, though.
Well,
maybe Mahmoud could wear some heels, and we'll see.
Maybe we'll see.
So the funniest thing is he's trying to. The thing about what he says, at the end, he basically says, well, maybe I'm all wrong about this, but it's what I believe. And that's an interesting argument because she can't argue with that.
Yeah.
And by saying that, it's kind of like, and then he went, I love you, honey, and your friend is so nice.
It was so passive aggressive.
But it was hilarious.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Because everyone knows he can't stand this woman.
It was really...
He's a bad actor. He's such a bad actor. At the very end, I wrote, I still think for both of these women, there's a part of them that really enjoyed taking him down or watching him being taken down.
Well, Nicole said at the end, she said, I was really proud of my husband because he never wavered from his belief. And I was proud of him for that.
Isn't that an interesting thing to say?
And she said, but I'm worried that things won't change.
It's such a strange thing to say.
Because she said, oh, hopefully she can change his mind.
Because why would she be proud that he did not waver?
No, when she said before, I hope she can change his mind. I think she just was saying that to feel supportive of him. And she said, what am I going to do? He won't change, but I just love him. And whereas Nuran's like, yeah, Mahmoud's not deep. He's a follower and he never questions.
I think we all can agree on that.
We can agree that he's not deep at all.
No.
They
Can we
never
move
have
on?
good conversations.
I'd rather shoot these people into the sun. You know how I feel about it. I do say they make for interesting conversation. Personally, though, I never want to see them again after this.
Well, you better get used to it. They're on the rest of the season.
Never. Hopefully not another
6
one.
episodes? 7?
No, can't be. I think they said 14, 15.
Oh, okay.
Gabe and Isabel. We're working out at the park with Dad on the things that are in those equipment that's provided in the park.
Did you know those are for working out? I thought they were for guys in West Hollywood to have sex on. That's what I've used them for.
I think.
Who knew?
I think they had to weight them in a different way because guys kept doing that.
Oh.
And
you can barely get a grip on any of them. They're just covered in lube.
Dad is basically asking him more about what it is to be trans, and he says, when did you decide to make this change? He says, my whole life I did not feel like a girl. I didn't like dresses. I hung out with men. I played sports. And he talks to the second mention of boobies in this episode.
Yep.
Said, imagine if you had boobs, and how would you feel? And Dad just kind of laughed at that. And then the father says, how did you feel as a person kind of in the wrong body? And he said, I didn't like being a person. And then you see something, and I think people who don't have never read anything about people who are trans or know people who are trans, this might have been really hard for them to watch. Where he basically said, I don't want to see these pictures because I hate how I look and it makes me despise myself.
Well, it's a thing that, and I get it because people are curious, but yeah, I will say it's not a good thing to say to a trans person, oh my God, what did you look like as a woman?
Yeah, I agree.
Because that is, you're bringing up the most traumatic, horrific thing. That's to them, it's like you saying, oh, show me a picture of your dad dying in a car crash. Like that is what you're asking of them.
Or even worse, show me a picture of you being horrifically maimed somehow.
Yes, show me the video of you being raped. Like literally, it's that traumatic.
It's more of their own trauma.
Yeah,
because you don't recognize yourself.
So I know some trans people
who are fine with it.
And they like look at their pictures and they're like, I have one of my friends who's a trans man, and when he was a she, would like laugh and say, like I could ever pass as a girl.
Right.
Like, and that's how they deal with it, and that's great. But just take their lead on that.
Yeah,
that's
a
good.
You to ask. It's a good perspective to say, take the trans person's lead on a lot of, if you're having those discussions.
But that said, in this case, I understand why Gabe did it, because the father knows nothing really about trans, and he needed. We all, when we're trying to understand someone's story, we try to understand how did it begin?
Yeah.
And
No,
to
this was
get here.
necessary.
I think like that clicked for him more.
It was smart, actually. And he shows...
Again, I think Gabe is brave as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
For doing this, for giving pictures of his self before he transitioned, for TLC to even put on the screen for us to watch.
No,
this is to watch.
This is really, really huge.
I love this guy.
Especially what's going on right now in this country.
Yes. It's so fucking timely.
Yeah, because I know there are people in chat rooms or something like that calling him a groomer or something awful like that, just something despicable. And they're seeing him, and they're seeing him be human.
I'm hoping that since this is the most popular show watched by women on cable, that maybe some people in these places in our country, I hope they
change their mind somehow.
Maybe it kind of, they're probably not listening to us, but
maybe they watch the show.
But maybe they watch the show and they go, "Oh wow, Gabe just wants to get married and be a good husband and work and the same things my husband wants to do."
Maybe it is the Learning Channel.
Maybe it is.
And then again, maybe they'll watch and go, "Fucking groomer,"
or
go die.
They never watched this because they saw a twin sister put her sister's foot in her mouth and chew her toenail off, and they said, "I'm out." Yeah. Yeah. We had a sissy who put that on our Patreon and said, I had to go see that, and I subscribed to Discovery Plus. They should know that you're sending them viewers. I sent that to Discovery Plus. I screen grabbed and I said, "Look what we're doing."
So, anyway, this was super touching for me. I loved, and he said, I had body parts that didn't belong. And he even says to her dad, "It's like I had an arm coming out of my chest." And I feel like this was a super relatable way to explain. Obviously, you're not going to be able to explain everything about being trans, but just an effort to explain to this man who has probably never even cared to look up something like this.
Well, yeah, and he described, not only did he feel like he had a third arm, but that it was imaginary and it was a real arm to him, but for everybody else, they couldn't see it.
Yeah. Basically, he says, I woke up every day wanting to be a boy. And the dad basically is just taking this and says, "Thank you for telling me this. It's just, you could not have written something better."
No, he said, "Thank you for trusting me." He said, "And you are being brave.
And let's keep moving forward."
Did you cry?
And he says, "Yes, I cried and teared up in this." And he says, "God calls me to love everyone and to treat everyone with dignity." And that's, to me, that's religion. That's God's love.
I agree with that.
Treating people with dignity, treating people with equity. Except for Gwyneth Paltrow.
I'm glad she won her case.
No, I'm fine that she won her case. I'm just saying, fuck her. You know the rules on this podcast. Never speak positively about Gwyneth Paltrow.
And she was so sweet. She told him good luck when she left the courtroom. That was shady.
She's awful. You have to know she's awful.
She Sean Robinson, Tim. She said, "We're going to have to leave this here."
You know what? She did win her case.
We wish you the best.
I'm kind of glad that crackpot didn't get any of the money
Yes.
after. But the fact that she was there and showed up every day.
I would.
I know you would have.
I would have shown up every goddamn day.
But I just say,
because if you're taking my money, then you're taking, as Tabitha Brown says, if you mess with my money, then you mess with how I take care of my family and myself. You're not. It's not the money. You're messing with my family.
I get that. She's got money to burn, honey.
I don't care. As you say all the time, it's the principle.
But you know what, though? If I'm a celebrity, it's not the principle. I don't want to be in a courtroom and be gawked at. That's the way I feel about it.
Oh, I'd go.
No. Even if you...
I think you'd feel differently if you were in that situation. God, I hope you never are getting sued for something. And if you are, I hope our business partnership is dissolved by then, because I don't know what you did.
I cannot be objective about Gwyneth Paltrow, and don't expect me to be.
That's fair.
Don't expect me to be.
That's true.
Yeah. Someone came at me defending her, and I was like, you're wasting your breath.
Well, again, like Mahmoud. This is what Jake believes.
This is what I believe.
It's what Jake believes.
I may be wrong, but it's what I believe.
It's what he believes.
I'm not wrong. So, y'all, anyway.
I'd have lunch with her.
No, you wouldn't. No, I would never let you. I'd poison you, and I'd poison her, too. Anyway, do you remember when she cut off the school bus on her motorbike? It was a big story.
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, I live for bad stories about her.
So not only are we already emotional, now Gabe says, well, now that we're good, I want to ask Isabel to marry me. And the dad's like, I'm speechless. And Gabe says, in a good way or not? And he's like,
I think it's great.
I think this is great. This dad said,
and I cried more.
Yeah, I knew you would. He said, this is an opportunity for us to come together
now.
and be very happy.
Anyway, I'm moved.
Oh, I just want to say, it's his words. This is such a big deal. He said, it's exciting for me to see Gabe as my son-in-law.
Yeah. No, it's a
that
huge
made me
deal.
a little teary.
Huge deal. I gotta give it to TLC and Sharp on this.
They've done a great job. A great job.
Y'all, take that and you can record that and play it whenever you need to remind me of a time when I talked favorably about them.
Okay, trigger warning if you're Jake or other people who get
We're
triggered.
at Colombian Color Me Mine.
Y'all, we've heard your experience of Jake's rant about ceramics. Who knew?
It's not even. I was telling a personal story that was hurtful to me.
I know. No, I'm glad.
Thank you for your emails and your letters and your postcards of support.
Do not send him ceramics.
No,
because he will break it.
No, I'll break it. I'll break it in.
He just
anger.
broke a cup yesterday.
It slipped out of my hand, and my sink is very hard.
I think all people have hard sinks.
Metal ones aren't. I need a metal sink. I really do. Things just break all the time. So y'all, he and Isabel are making pottery. They looks
gotta
like
go
they're
pick
about
it
to
up.
ghost.
Because what happens when you make, I don't know if you know this, but when you do ceramics, you make it and then you put it in the kiln, and if it doesn't break, then you pick it up.
Yeah, I'm
a week
aware.
later. Okay.
I'm familiar with how it works.
So they're going a week later to pick it up that's been completed because it didn't break.
That didn't break for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's just reading off his phone. He gives her
he
the
doesn't
plate.
know Spanish.
This
fully.
is sweet.
Yeah.
He sees the little plate that he made that says, "Will you marry me?" And he says, "I love you and your family."
Will you marry me, boy?
And then the ring is there, and she says, "Of course, C." And I wrote, "She said C."
She said, "My favorite part, honestly, is when he was down on the phone reading and on the phone and asked her to marry him, and she bent down to his level to be with him."
It was sweet.
It was really, really sweet. She said, "I'm so happy for me." She's like, "I'm so happy the family I have, and the three of the people that I love in the world all love each other."
And she was really touched that, really kind of bowled over that he went to the kids and her father first, and I don't see how this could be turned bad. Don't you do it, Sharp. Speaking of turning bad,
Woo!
Kris and Jamie.
We talked about the T relationship. Let's talk about the L relationship of the, or it's this one we want to call, y'all, the D and the O and the
D to the O to the
A relationship.
We had hope last week.
Boy, they manipulated us on this one. We were moved by that wedding. We were, boy, you especially got really sucked into it.
How dare you?
I think I screamed, "This is love."
Speaking of pottery and ceramics in general, we had a sissy say, "Find come at us."
A Sissy Squad mug.
Sissy Squad mug.
Keep going, Queen
Keep
mug.
going, Queen mug.
Mm-hmm.
That a sissy found in a thrift store.
A thrift store.
Okay, I'll save this time for you to scream.
On sale
Scream
for
at home,
$2.99, and it was one of the good ones, like the OG mugs. I think it's probably from somebody from the Facebook fallout.
That's probably right.
That's what I feel like, you know.
Yeah, that you know what, that tracks.
That's right. That's what I think it is.
And if that happened, fine. I'm just assuming the sissy had passed on. And but
or it might not even be the Facebook fallout. It could be very well of I don't know, just what are the list of the things Poodle has said on the show of, if you're not blah blah blah, you're garbage. If you're not listening to this, you're trash.
And they're drinking the mug,
and it was just too many days where you had told them they were wrong.
I'm doing them a service. If you can't take it, don't listen. You should still keep your mug. Those were from a mug factory that burned down.
It did not burn down.
I hope you're happy. They don't make those anymore. That mug factory burned down, took several people with it.
It's still right in Burbank, right by the airport.
Ixnay on the mug factory being okay.
We're not buying more mugs, y'all. That's what he's trying to say.
That's what I was saying. It was a tragedy for Burbank the day that mug factory burned down.
It was.
All the mugs. In the LA area.
Yes.
We don't even have mugs anymore.
We don't. We just drink out of our hands. And they pour coffee in my hand. It burns, so I have to drink it quickly.
Oh! Y'all, here's the thing. We're getting a food truck because Kris has, quote, financial problems.
Yeah, so they literally got married yesterday. And so
someone stole my identity at my bank.
Kris said, I told her I would cover the bills, but my bank froze my account and they froze my identity. And so I have to get money stable. Y'all, I'm going to call this now. I think there's more to this story than meets the eye. Because we've traveled internationally. If you tell your bank you're traveling internationally...
Unless she's like at a credit union in Alabama and they see Spanish charges.
That's fair. Now because dealing with my father's estate, now my brother and I's business.
A small bank?
Small banks, because I think Citizens Bank probably could do it. But, no. Citizens of Ardmore probably would call you. First Bank... Now, they've done international stuff before, but Bank First probably wouldn't be able to do it.
I can't ask. I'm just going to have to keep plowing through.
It's very confusing. We've got an account at First Bank of Ardmore, but Bank First really wants to take our business. But the guy that used to work at First Bank is now the manager at Bank First.
Sounds like a real bloodbath.
Well, there was a bank that said it was just going to do, and it called itself Second Bank, and because it went. This is confusing.
No,
it's
this
true.
is stupid.
No, they did. They closed.
This is stupid.
Nobody wanted to be a part of the Second Bank.
This is stupid.
It's true.
Absolutely stupid.
Anyway, we switched everything over to Citizens. It's great because every time I go in, I see my dad's ex-wife, Janet, answering the phone.
Riveting.
And I just want to look at her and say, couldn't go to that funeral, could you, you piece of shit?
She didn't go to your...
She said it was too painful for her.
Oh, wow.
Even after all the shit she pulled.
But she cleaned that house out pretty well, didn't she?
Well, it also probably didn't help that Aunt Peggy called her a slut to her face. Good for Aunt Peggy.
Maybe not. How many times has she called women sluts to her face that were associated with your father?
They didn't call my mom that.
That's good.
No, but the rest of them, yeah. Daughter called her up and called her a crazy bitch.
Okay. So I
think she even said, she even used an expression like one of those. Yes, I remember. Go ride on the horse. Horse you rode in on, or what is that expression?
Fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
Yes, that one. Where does that come from? Is that a Western metaphor?
I think it means it's just an extension of fuck you and also fuck your horse, because your horse is just as disgusting as you.
Oh, so it'd be like if someone said to me, fuck you and the dick you rode in on.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to fuck a dick because the horse you could fuck.
That's a weird area.
Yeah, we're in a weird area.
You brought it up.
You asked me to explain it.
Well, I don't want to talk about horse fucking.
Y'all get your horse fucking news from Reality Gaze.
Anyway, brought to you by Citizens Bank of Ardmore.
I was going to talk about something. You waylaid everything. I have to keep going because the show can't be 90 minutes.
You were going to talk about that she probably has a smaller bank.
That, and the fact that what I didn't understand is when that happens, why couldn't she put her mother on the bank account?
The only thing maybe she doesn't trust her. We come from families where other people can trust some of their family members
her mother?
with money.
Something's off here, y'all.
Something is off.
So she is later on. They're looking at food trucks, mixing American food in Venezuela. It's weird. This first part of the episode had me excited.
I did too.
And now I think it's just a diversion. And I think she did it just to make Jamie feel better. And so y'all.
It was pretty great when they had a zombie truck with just guns and knives all in it.
And it's perfect for Kris.
Kris is like, this is great.
And it's $20,000. And Kris thinks that she could have gotten... I was going to say, these are the nice food trucks. Show us the broken down food trucks for like $3,000.
I don't think they know how to fix it up. They need something where they can...
I guess,
operate.
But I feel like a lot of 90 Day Fiancé, we were shown the most expensive things. They're like, oh, this is just too much for us.
Have they ever cooked or done that? Do we know?
No. I think this was like a project that they decided to do.
I don't think Kris thinks it through, because Kris even said later when she said, she's like, let's decide our menu and we know how much things cost. And I wrote, they don't have an idea of what they're fucking doing. And in the next breath, Kris said, I didn't consider whether going to Colombia and everything was a practical dream or not. And my finances are not in the place that I thought they would be.
And this has been prefigured, where the apartment was more expensive.
Yeah.
Than she thought, by $100 more expensive. So I'm trying to think of, how much were you barely getting by?
Well, in the next scene after that, she is literally packing to go back to the U.S. and she said, I've got to go back. I'm having problems with my bank.
And we don't have my narcolepsy meds here.
Again, couldn't Jamie just have gone to a pharmacy for you and said, hey, if I had specific medicines I took, I would go and ask.
And I don't know why they could not ship them from a pharmacy where they have them.
I know that some Americans you can get medicine like from Canada.
You know what? I don't want to speculate on this because I don't know the ins and outs of this.
I just think there's more to this. It feels like she's just out of money.
Yeah.
Because the thing that we get next week, or when we see, is she says, spoiler alert, did they tell you this, y'all? Jamie says, I haven't talked to you in a month. So she was, and also even when she was going back, and Jamie said, how long do you think he'll be gone? She went, 2 weeks. And
she hasn't bought her ticket yet.
She hadn't bought her ticket back. And I went, 2 weeks. I said, I have gone back. I had to go back to Oklahoma sometimes and do some financial things for my dad and I could go back and get it done usually in like a day or two.
This is sketch. Let's just call it.
It's sketchy.
It's sketch. So she gives her a necklace and says, I'm telling you, I'm going to be back. And I'm like, what did that cost? Like $3? And she says, and then Jamie says in the taxi, if you don't come back, I'm selling all your clothes and your shit. And Kris is like, ha ha ha. And Jamie's like, I'm not laughing.
I hope she does.
Anyway, and then Jamie says, my biggest fear is that if she doesn't come back.
Jamie is over and Jamie is gone.
That's the show.
That's the show. Do you think Kris will ever go back to Colombia?
I don't know.
I think Kris is someone who runs away from things.
Yeah.
And I think the only way she'll go back to Colombia is if it allows her to run away from another problem that
I
develops
would
in
not
Alabama.
trust her to go back. I will say that. If
I don't
was
trust
Jamie,
her.
I would not trust her to go back.
This is all, as you said, sketch is a good word for it.
Sketch. It's all sketch.
That's the show, everybody. You can go to realitygaze.com. You know the drill. Follow us on social media. with Instagram, TikTok.
Look at our Barbie
Twitter.
memes.
Look at our Barbie memes. Yeah, that's it, everybody. Thank y'all so much for, if you're new, if you're jumping on to listen to Love is Blind, we appreciate that. It's really, we almost have 5,000 people on Patreon, and that's not even counting Supercast. So
very exciting.
It's very exciting, and we appreciate our little community that could. So until then, y'all, we call these people lonely hearts because aren't we all just lonely hearts that are looking for love in all the wrong places?
Yes, and if you end every terrible fight with "I love you, honey bunny," call us.
You should end a fight like that.